For me, please. Okay, this is lesson 14, part F, calculating unit rates. So a unit rate is used in unit pricing. So this is for unit pricing. So this is when we go shopping and we try to calculate how much one item costs. So the things they use is, for example, this slash sign. Whenever you see that slash sign, it means the word per, each, every. So for example, $60 60 kilometers per hour, or 60 kilometers every hour. Okay, that's what that means. So it says 3 bags for $1.99. I wanted to find out how much one bag would cost. So there's a way we do this. So it says a unit rate is a comparison that has one in its second term, meaning it's got one item and you divide. So we have a rule. So here's our unit rules. Okay, these are your steps. Okay, so you want the cost, again, it's saying per item. So that means for only one item. That's what you're checking for. What does one item cost? We're going to do a few examples. So what we do, here is our equation. Our equation always is money, so price, divided by amount. Okay, so the amount of stuff you've got. So, for example, I've got a dozen eggs at the store, costs me, let's say they're grain fed and they're organic. Omegas, we're going to say they cost $8.50. Okay, so a dozen of them, you pick a dozen eggs from the grocery store, it's going to cost me $8.50. I want to find the cost of one of those eggs. What does one egg do? So I'm going to use the equation. I'm going to put the money, $8.50, divided by the amount. There's 12 eggs. That's going to give me the price for one egg. Okay, we'll put a slash sign for per. So we're going to get for one egg or each egg. Okay, so one egg or each egg. So everybody take the number $8.50, divide it by 12. So 8.50 divide 12. We're going to get a big decimal. We're going to get 0.7083 repeating. We're talking about money. So that means I need 2 decimal places after the decimal. So that means my money's going to look like this. I want this 2 numbers showing. So I have to look at the third number. What does the 8 make the 0 do? If I'm rounding, what does the 8 make the 0 do?
What does the 8 make the 0 do, Nixie?
For rounding, what's the 8 going to make the 0 do? It's going to add 1.
What does he do?
Okay, so it's going to add 1. We're going to get 0.71. So that tells me that it costs 71 cents for one egg. Okay, on the next page it says we have an example. We have a sale, 4 bags of potato chips for $4.36. So again, we put the money on top of amount. And that fraction line means divide. So you're going to divide by 4. That gives us an answer of $1.09 per bag. Now, how did they round that? Because if I do that, we're going to get this. It's exact. Sometimes you get extra numbers like our previous question, but this one is exact. So you need all the decimals because we have dollars and pennies. Okay? So that means each bag of chips on that sale cost $1.09. That's what that tells us. All right. B, we've got cans of soup. No. Cans of soup, we have 12 of them on sale for $4.56. So again, we put the money on top of amount. Okay, and we divide them. and that tells you how much for 1 can. We're going to get 38 cents. Now remember, there's 2 ways to write money. One, you write it with the decimal and the dollar sign. The other way is to forget the decimals and write the cents. So if I'm writing money, I can write it like this with a cent sign and no decimals, or you use this dollar sign in front and 0.38. So there's 2 ways to write money. One without the decimal and one with the decimal. Okay? All right, the next example, it says, you can be finding out your comparison to figure out which is the better buy. So we want to see cheaper. That's what we always want. We want to find the cheaper deal. If it says compare, the word compare means find the cheaper deal. Okay? So we got to find the cheaper deal. So this one says we have 3 pizzas for $22.89 or 2 for $16. Which is better? So I take this one and I divide it by 3. And I get my answer. I take this one and I divide by 2 because that's what it tells me right here. And I see what my answer is. And I see which one is cheaper. So we have 2 different sets of pizza deals. Which is the better pizza deal? All right, so let's take 22.89 divide 3. We're going to get $7.63 for 1 pizza. That's what 1 pizza is going to cost. On the other one, we have 16.95 dividing by 2. This guy's going to give us $8.48. So, and again, this is for 1 pizza. Okay, this is for 1 pizza. So now what we do, once we've got both of our totals, we look for the smaller number. So once we get both of the dividing done, we take a look and we see which one has the smaller number, which one is cheaper. $7 is cheaper than $8, so we would go for the 3 pizza deal. This one is the cheaper deal. Okay, so that's what we're always trying to find, which is the better deal. They showed you all of the steps for each of them. Okay, those are the steps on the next page. Now we're going to talk toothpaste. So go to the toothpaste page. So on toothpaste, it says we could have $2.95 for 350 milliliters, or here, $3.20 for 400. So when they give you multiples, you got to add them together. The difference is whenever we deal with milliliters or grams, okay, whenever we're dealing with milliliters or grams, we set up a cross multiply. We set up 2 fractions to cross multiply, then divide. Okay, so whenever we've got comparison with milliliters or grams, we're going to set up a comparison. So comparing 2 items with milliliters or grams, we set up 2 fractions and we cross multiply, then divide. That's going to give us 0.80 cents per 100 milliliters. And that's how you would write your answer now. So instead of per 1, instead of you writing 1, it's not 1 anymore. When you use milliliters or grams, it's per 100. So you've got to write this part there. Okay, that's the difference with grams and milliliters. Turn your page. Okay, so number 2. Okay, so now our last couple examples here. It's saying if we've got this much, $2.95 for 350 milliliters, how much will 100 milliliters cost? Again, we set up 2 fractions. Okay, here's our 2 fractions, and then we cross multiply and divide. So now with this one, So I'll show you what you do. You look at the numbers that are diagonal. Whatever's diagonal is what you multiply and divide by the number left over. That's going to give you your answer. That tells us that it's 84 cents. Whoopsie, I need my zero. $0.84 per 100 milliliters. That's what that's telling us. Okay? That's what one tube costs. Now we're talking about bags of chips. So it says, which bag of chips is the best value? Okay. 2 examples. So this guy I need to set up. Cross multiply. Money on top of amount. So I've got money on top of amount, money on top of amount. This time I need to cross multiply this way and divide by the number left over. Same thing here. I need to cross multiply and divide. Once I do my cross multiplying and dividing, we're going to find out which one is cheaper. So we end up with, that was 100. So we're going to end up with this guy being $1.60 for 100 grams. And this guy ends up being $1.48 for 100 grams. Which one is cheaper, $1.60 or $1.48? Who's cheaper, 60 cents or 48 cents? 48 cents is cheaper. So that is our cheaper deal. We always want to find the cheaper deal. Okay, so in this case, it's telling us the jumbo size is our answer. All right, last examples. So letter D, it says buying soft drinks for a party. So it says 12 cans of pop are $4.95, 2 liter for $1.79. Which one is cheaper? So we set up our cross multiply. So I'm going to set up, where do we have? 495 over 4260 equals X. Whoa, where is it? Equals X over 100. And the next one, this guy here, I'm going to set up $1.79 for 2,000 equals X over 100. Please write those down. Now we're going to cross multiply. All right, now we're going to cross multiply and divide. When I cross multiply, then divide, let's find our answer. So 4.95 times 100, divide 4260, I get 12 cents. This guy's going to give me 0.1161. The 6 makes the 1 become a 2. So that means it costs me 12 cents per 100 milliliters, not grams, milliliters. Okay, so the first one gives me 12 cents. Let's find the second one. Cross multiply, then divide. That's going to give me 0.0895. The 9 makes the 8 become a 9. So this guy is 0.09 cents per 100 milliliters. So one of them costs 9 cents and one of them costs 12 cents. Who's the cheaper deal?
12 cents or
9 cents is the cheaper deal. So that means the 2 liters of pop, that 2 liter is the cheaper deal. So in conclusion, we're going to do one last example. All we're doing is it says if you've got a number, it says Saul has been keeping track of his gas usage. He knows that he can drive 415 on 1 tank of gas. He is planning a vacation to the southern U.S. and its distance is 2,075 kilometers. So we want to know how many tanks of gas will he use. So we're going to divide our kilometers by, whoopsie, where is the number? We're going to divide our kilometers. So we need to be able to cross multiply. So we're going to have 415 over 1 equals 2075 over X. So it's a cross multiply, then divide by your number. Or you could have just taken and divided by 415. Same answer. So 2,075 divided by 415. We're going to get an answer of 5. So it takes 5 tanks of gas for him to drive that far. That's what that's telling us. So a review of our rates and ratios. If it is unit pricing, a unit rate. If it is grams or milliliters, you need to cross multiply with 2 fractions. Cross multiply, then divide using 2 fractions. Okay, that's the hardest part of it. Otherwise, it's just dividing. You take money divided by amount. Ooh, that's glitching a bit. So I'll write it a little differently so it doesn't glitch, hopefully. You take the money price, okay, so the money price or the cost, whichever you want to call it, and you divide by the amount of stuff, the amount of items. Okay, so the amount of your items. Whether it's kilometers, whether it's eggs, whether it's toothbrushes or toothpaste, it's whatever you're buying. This concludes lesson 14.